Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I wanted to give an update. I was kind of making some progress on it and decided I wanted to slow down for a second and give you an update before I went much further, right? So right now I got the intake on, got the injectors on, fuel lines run, throttle cables on, all the connectors for the throttle position sensor, auto control, fuel pressure, intercooler lines are run. Yeah, so back here I have my E85 sensor, all that's on. My vacuum lines in the back there are on. I don't know if you can see them back there, but I got, everything's good. I got the inlet air temperature in the back connected. So everything is good. I was getting ready to put the valve covers on. I bought new valve covers, which I'll show those to you in a second. And I bought coil pack relocating kit and a new catch can, all that together, so I can kind of clean this up. That makes it easier for me to pull the valve covers off and check the rocker arms and torque the heads and things like that more frequently, because it's difficult with the coil packs on the valve covers to the point where you really don't want to do it. Well, I don't want that to be the case. I want to be able to easily access it and check these more often. And that would have prevented, if I checked it, that would have prevented me breaking that rocker arm and that one bolt backing out and, blowing the head gasket, etc. So that's what I wanted to do, and I want to show this to you. So essentially what these are, this is, I don't know if you saw my previous video, these are LS1, LS6, Jesel, non-adjustable, so basically bolt down rock arms. What's special about that is you have to make sure that you get the proper push rod length if you want to have your preload right because this is a hydraulic roller cam. So on your lifters, these are LS7 lifters in this, right? Which matters. There's a little bit more adjustability or a little bit more plunger in an LS7 than an LS1 or an LS6. And so with me having 40 thousandths head gaskets, milled about 50 thousandths on the head, and about a 624-inch lift cam in it, I just wanted to make sure everything's good. And so what I did was, on this setup, these can come apart. I don't know if you saw my previous videos, but there's 3 bolts holding every 2 on, right? So it's not just one shaft all the way through, right? So on the stand, these 3 bolt down that hold for 2 valves. So you pull this off and you pull the 2 push rods out. Now I have a kit over here, I'll show you. This is a comp cam adjustable push rod, like a measurement kit. And it has different lengths for different motors. What is it, 7.8 to 8.8, 8.8 to 8.9, 5.8, 6.8. So 6.8 to 7.8 is what you want to use for an LS. Stock is 7.4 for an LS1. And so that's, you're not going to go over that with this. So that's where you want to start out at, right? So if you see this end here is 2 pieces, this is threaded into it, right? That line marks like 1 flush turn. So this end over here will unscrew, and that line going around will be 1 revolution and 1 revolution. And every time you turn 1 revolution, it's 50 thousandths. So you'll take this push rod, you'll unscrew it, and I started off with like, I think 9 rotations or maybe 10 rotations, something like that. And that's where I started out. So basically like 7.3 is where I started. And whenever I did that, I put it in, and you'll have one side with no push rod in it, one side with the push rod in, and I think I had it like at 7.3 length. You'll snug these down and see if you have any play. And if you do, if you have play in it, you want to loosen it up more. You want to have the top part unscrew more, to where if you tap on the cup up here, you can't hear anything. There's no rattling. There's no movement back and forth. But it's not compressing the valve spring either, so you're not tightening it down. In other words, you're not putting any preload on it. you're just taking all of the lash out. So that you should be able to turn the push rod in there, and the only way you can do it on these is, like I said, reaching like this internal. But if you do that, and you should be able to turn it, but you shouldn't be able to move the push rod in the cup or down in the lifter inside, right? So with these being tight. Once you do that and there's no movement, there's no rattling in it, not this way, but this way, there's no rattling in it, that's 0 lash. And then for me, I added 75 thousandths to that total, whatever it was, and mine was 7.325. So I started at 7.3. I kind of unscrewed it a little bit with my finger, and then I got it to where it was nice and snug, but not where it was compressing anything, not putting any tension on anything. And then I added 75 thousandths to it, which made it 7.4, which is actually stock, which seems strange because I milled the head and have thinner head gaskets and in the lift, but it worked out. And I think it worked out because of the lifters that I have. They're the LS7 lifters. So anyway, I kind of wanted to go over that. It's a little different than adjustable rocker arms. I've had all kinds, big block, small block, whatever. And it's a little bit easier sometimes with those. Once you get the measurement right with these though, it's bolt them on. It's really fast. If you're at the track, this is so easy. You just bolt them down and go, right? You do have to be careful because if you try to pull this one off while there's tension on one of the valves and you pull this bolt out, because these 3 bolts here is what holds it down, right? These 3 bolts. If you unscrew this, it's going to break that shaft with this tension on the spring. So you can't unload, you can't take these bolts out while there's load on the spring. You gotta turn the motor over by hand and get it to where it's top dead center on whatever cylinder you're pulling off, or you will break either the bolt or the shaft, one of the two. And I had big block Chevys with 800 plus lift cams and broke those bolts just by doing that, and learned the hard way. So anyway, I just want to give you guys an update real quick on that because not everybody's kind of tracking. Most people have the bolt down with like a trunnion upgrade, and they just kind of go with it and bolt them down. But you can go this route. These are pretty good, and they zing up pretty high, and you can go up to the upper RPM, and they're really, really good rocker arms. But you just got to make sure your push rods are good. And these are good comp cam, 80,000th wall, 5/16 push rods. I didn't go any bigger than that, and that's fine. But here is what I'm putting on, if I can get it. Here's what I'm putting on next. I'll do a video on this. So this is what I had on, and why I'm changing this is because there's no baffle. And I bought these and this Motion Racework vent here that I'm going to put on. I got to drill this out and mount all that. It has an O-ring that seals up on it. I'm going to do all this, but I kind of want to go over real quick why I'm doing it. And if I flip this over, and I'll do another video too, there's no baffle. Now with those rocker arms, I had to mill this down a little bit, right? And on this, because this was raised across here. And these 2 areas is why you can't use these stock height valve covers on rocker arms, but you can machine them down. So that's what I did. I machined them down. But the problem is this is the tube or the location where I had my hose, right? So you've probably seen these before. This just goes in there, right? And then this end went to a catch can, right? That is not going to work with a boosted application. You need some sort of a baffle in here, or you're just going to fill up your can, which was what I was doing. And so this is just a Holley setup, and it has a baffle in it already, and it has a hole right there. But I'm putting this in, so I'm going to have to drill through this, cut that baffle out a little bit so that I can bolt these on, and run lines to a catch can, which I have a catch can that I just got over here. This is my relocation kit, and I'll show you that, guys, as well. Here's a catch can that I got from Motion Raceworks that I'll put on, and here's the fittings. Once I get all that, I'll measure the lines, and then get the lines for it and get all that hooked up. But anyway, I'll do a video on all that. But what I want to do here is to kind of show you this about the Jesel. I'm really pleased with Jesel. The customer service is great, not sponsored or anything. They really hooked me up on quickly giving me another set, not giving me, selling me another set, but they got them here quick, shipped the same day, matter of fact. And then I bought a backup set just in case I break them again. So they hooked me up, man, pretty good. So I'm really pleased with the customer service there. I have to also give a shout for T&D rockers. So I've broken rockers on, I have a big block as well. And I've broken rockers on that, and they're great, man. I'll break a bolt or something, and they'll just send me one. They won't even charge me for it if I break some. I mean, it's really good customer service for both companies. But anyway, I want to kind of show you guys this. If there's something about this you are not tracking or it didn't make sense, you know, kind of going through it a little fast, but let me know and I'll clarify a little more. But they're pretty, once you get them set, man, they're good. And no problems. I have no issues with them at all. But yep, I'll keep you guys updated and as I move along. But hey, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Talk to you soon.